So this is a really simple pattern. You need to start with a chain of 24. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. If you're not certain, just count back and double check. Okay, now we're not going to count this loop on our hook. We're going to skip 3 chains, 1, 2, 3, and into the 4th chain, you're going to do a double crochet. And this pattern is all double crochets and chains. So this first chain 3 counts as a double crochet. So we've now got 2 double crochet, and then we're going to chain 2. And you're going to skip 2 chains. Don't mistake this first one here with this bigger loop from your double crochet. So 1, 2, and into the next 2, a double crochet. So there's 1 and there's 2. Chain 2, skip 2, and then 2 double crochets. 1, 2, chain 2, skip 2 chains, 2 double crochets. 1, 2, chain 2, skip 2 chains, 2 double crochet, 2, 1, 2, there we go. Making sure I'm skipping the right chains. I have made a mistake twice previously, so I'm just trying not to make a mistake on the video. I've got a very small chain there, so watch out for small chains. So there we go, chain 2, skip 2 and 2 double crochet, and you should be doing these into your last 2 chains. If they're not your last 2 chains, then you've either miscounted a chain somewhere along the way, or you've made too many chains to begin with. So have a look along and just double check that it's all correct. Okay, so that's our first colour. Now just pull up a loop, grab your stitch marker or whatever you're going to use, or just leave a long loop and pop that on there. Grab your next colour with a slip knot, pop that on your hook, and then you are going to go back to the beginning, and in your first chain of 3 you're going to do a slip stitch in the top chain. So into your top chain, do a slip stitch with your colour B, and there we go, all ready to start part B of our first row. Okay, so for this part we are going to, sorry, I think I might have just hit the camera there, chain 2, and then you're going to skip the second double crochet. So this chain, remember, is like a double crochet. Skip the next one, and then you're going to do a double crochet into the next 2 chains, the ones that you skipped in your colour A. You're going to work around this chain space. So to do that, to work around, you're going to insert into your first, yarn over, insert into your first skipped chain, go through to the other side, do a yarn over from behind or over this chain, bring it through, and then do, now why am I getting in a pickle? So go through, pull through, there we go, pull through your chain. So you've now got this, and then do your double crochet as usual. Isn't it weird how we can do things so many times and then just one time we get confused? Okay, so then a double crochet into the next chain there in exactly the same way, working over your chain space and doing your double crochet. So There we go. Now this will all even out eventually. I know it looks a bit sort of distorted and pulling up, but it will work out eventually. Okay, so then chain 2, and we are essentially working the same as we did on our other colour, in that we're going to do 2 double crochet, chain 2, and then 2 double crochet in these 2 chains. Okay, so there we go. It will become a little easier when we're not working into our foundation chain. Working into the foundation chain is never the easiest thing to do. So chain 2 and then 2 more double crochet in your skipped chains. Okay, so it will, like I said, become easier as we build up our rows. I've got another yarn tangle here, so don't just pull it. If you get one of these, don't just keep pulling, just try and separate what you've got going on here, and then it should. There we go. If you keep pulling, it just gets tighter and tighter. So chain 2 and then 2 double crochet in your chains all the way to the end. There we go, chain 2 into the next 2. This is our last 2 chains, so let's do your last 2 double crochet. There we go, and then going to chain 2, and what you're going to do here is remove your stitch marker and pop your loop back on your hook. You're going to pull that through. Oops, pull that, she says. Okay, let's pull that loop through your current colour, and then you're going to just tighten this colour there and leave that where it is, and that is that. So I'll lay this down here, you can see what we've got going on, and there we go, there's our 2 colours starting to make our pattern. So for our next row, you're going to turn your work, chain 1, so we're now using our first colour, colour A, and chain 3, and that counts as our first double crochet. Now this other colour, just pop that over there out of the way, and you are going to, don't worry if that gets a bit loose, you can sort that out in the next row. So chain 3 for your first double crochet, and then you're going to do a double crochet into this next double crochet here, so the one that's next to your first chain down here. Okay, so do this double crochet into there, and again you're doing it over the chain space here of your second colour, just as we did before. Okay, so you've now got your chain and your double crochet, and then you're going to chain 2, and this is essentially in that space there. So chain 2, and then you are going to move over to these stitches here and do 2 double crochet into these existing stitches, always working into the stitches that are already there. Okay, there we go, chain 2, move over to the next 2 double crochets and work into those around your chain space. Okay, just go into those stitches around your chain. There we go. So chain 2 and move along to your next stitches and 2 double crochet, 1 and 2, chain 2, move over and do 2 double crochet into the top of your other 2 double crochet over that chain space. Got just a bit there. There we go. Chain 2, and then you're going to work into the top of these last 2. So you will be working into the same chain as this colour is joined, but that's absolutely fine, don't worry about that. So I'm going to go into this top of this stitch and then into that chain there. There you go. And then you're going to pull up a loop, pop your stitch marker in there and leave that one where it is. And this is the back of your work now. You're working on the wrong side. So there we go. So come back over to this side and we'll start with this colour. Okay, so we are returning to our second colour, colour B. So go into the top chain of 3 here, so the third chain at the top. Bring your colour through. So we're back over on this side now, so our stitch marker's over here and we're over this side again. So you're going to you're going to chain 2 with this colour, 1, 2, and then you are going to skip this next stitch and you're going to do 2 double crochet over this chain into these 2 below, just as we did in the previous colour. So there we go. 1, 2, chain 2, and you can probably see where this is going. 2 double crochets into the top of these. So 1 and 2, chain 2, move over and double crochet in the top of each of these 2. 1 and 2, chain 2, and do the same all the way along. And my camera didn't want to pause there, so do the same all the way along. Chain 2, 2 double crochet into the top of the others of the same colour, remembering to work over the chain of the previous colour. Chain 2, double crochet into the top of each stitch, and we're back at the end. Oops. So chain 2, take off this stitch marker, oops, wrong way, pop this loop of your colour A through your existing colour, pull that tight, and there you go. You're ready to turn your work and start on that colour. So turn your work, chain 3, do another double crochet in, so we're going to do a double crochet into the top of the other double crochet there. This one's gone a bit tight, so double crochet into there, chain 2, move over and do your 2 double crochet, and just continue this all the way along. I'll meet you back at the end of this row just to show you changing back to your other colour. Okay, so chain 2, 2 double crochet, chain 2, and I'll see you back at this end for your colour change. Okay, so do your last chain 2 and then do 2 double crochet into these very last 2 double crochet. 1, and your second one will be in this chain where your colour change took place. It might be a bit tight, just try and work into that chain. There you go, pull up a loop and pop your stitch marker back on. Okay, and then to change back to your previous colour, you are going to come back down to this end and you're going to go into your top chain, so 1, 2, 3, into your top chain, which might have gotten a bit tight, so you can get your hook into that chain, eventually Sorry guys, taking me ages. There we go. Pull your yarn through. There we go. And do a couple of chains. And then you're going to skip this and work straight into. Make sure your chains aren't tiny, tiny like mine. Look at mine. Tiny, tiny. That's not right. Let's try that again. Okay, 1, 2, sorted. So then you're going to work your 2 double crochets into your same colour, just as before, and work all the way along, just as before. And then when you get to this end, you're going to slip that loop onto your hook, as you did before. Okay, and you're going to work up your bamboo canes, working up, and you're going to work up until you've basically got a square shape. So the way to find out if it's square, hold on to this corner, fold this one up, and if it is the same length, then it will be square. Okay, because then we're going to do a border. So work up until it's about square, so it's going to be about 9 rows, 8 or 9 rows. That means 2 colours, so 2 of each colour for 8 or 9 rows. And then it'll be time for our border, so I'll see you soon. Okay, just before your square becomes square, you need to stop, and you will be finishing with a row of your first colour. So just fold it in half, corner to corner, like diagonally, and then when it's just I'll just pull my hook out there. When you've got just a little bit left, it's just a little bit shorter than it is wide, so when you've got just a little bit left, you want to do your final row of this original colour, which we need to do slightly differently to normal. Okay, so I'm going to show you that in just a second. Okay, so to finish off and fill in these gaps, we are going to chain 1, and then we're going to do a single crochet into the top of that first stitch, which is effectively your chain 3, and then a single crochet into the next stitch, making sure to enclose this chain of your second colour. And then you're going to, sorry, excuse me there, just oh my gosh, I'm having a bit of a yawn, excuse me. So then you're going to do a single crochet into the top of these 2 double crochets of your second colour, and then come down and do single crochet, all single crochets, no chains, single crochet over this chain into the stitch, and a single crochet into the next one. Okay, and then a single crochet into the top of these 2 of the second colour, and then down here single crochet into these 2, closing your chain. Okay, so closing off this chain here, then single crochet into the top of these 2, and a single crochet down here into these 2. Okay, we're going to work along the same on all of these, so single crochet in the top, and in the top of this one, oops, and down into this one, and the next one, in the top of this one, and the next one, and down to this one, top of that one, and in the top of this one, which is where your colour is joined in. There we go, so you've now got a single crochet all the way along there, neatened that off nicely, closed in those chain 2 spaces. It's just time for our border. So before you do your border, just decide which colour you want to do your border in, whether you want to do it in your colour A or your colour B. Okay, and then whichever colour you don't want to do, well, according to the pattern, we're using our colour A, but you could use your colour B if you choose to. Yeah, so whichever colour you choose, just fasten off the other colour, okay? Okay, so I'm going to do it as the pattern says and continue to do the border in my first colour. So I have just fastened off my other colour, and I've just sewn in the ends on the back here. Your colour, if you're using this colour for your border, will be coming out at the top left if you're right-handed. So we are on the back of the work, so I've just sewn my end in on the back. So we are going to be doing our border so that it's on the right side. Let me stop waffling. I'm not really with it today, guys, just in case you hadn't noticed. Oh dear, I'm a bit sleepy today, so I apologise for all my umming and ahhing and waffling and all that. So right, border, chain 3, turn your work, and this chain 3 counts as a single crochet and a chain 2, and then in this very same corner stitch you are going to do a single crochet. So that stitch might be a bit small and tight because of your colour change. We'll just do a single crochet in there, and that's your corner. So your corners are single crochet, chain 2, single crochet, and then you're going to single crochet along in the next 20 stitches. Okay, 20 single crochets all the way along, and it should bring you to having 1 stitch left on your end. Okay, so I'll join you back in 20 stitches later, single crochets later. Oh, just to say though, if your square isn't quite up to the size you are needing, you might choose to do a half double crochet border instead, or you might choose to do 2 single crochet borders. If you want to do a half double crochet border, then here where you started, then just chain 4, and that will be 2 chains for a half double crochet, and then you'll chain 2 and then do a half double crochet. Okay, and then do half double crochet all the way along, 20 stitches, and then you'll do your corner in your last stitch. But anyway, I'll meet you after 20 stitches. Okay, so when you've done your 20 stitches, you're going to do your corner. Now I'm going to, if you chose to do half double crochets, then obviously do half double crochet, chain 2, half double crochet. I'm doing single crochets, and that's what our pattern tells us. So I'm going to do a single crochet in this last stitch. It might be a bit tight, as always your last stitch is often a bit tighter, so just wiggle that and encourage it onto your hook. So I'm going to do an extra piece on there. That's not what I want, so let's try that again. There we go, single crochet, chain 2 and a single crochet. Okay, now your sides, you don't have actual stitches, you have the sides, and what we're advised to do is 20 stitches along, evenly spaced. You want to do 20 to make it even with your top and your bottom. So the best way to do this, now I've actually got 10 rows, I just counted, so I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So that's easy. I can do 2 stitches in the side of each row. That's quite simple. If you did 9 rows or 8 rows, it's going to be a bit more tricky. So what I suggest you do is find the middle of your square. This is what I tend to do if a pattern just says evenly spaced. Find the middle of your square, get your stitch marker, pop that in the middle. So fold it in half, pop your stitch marker in the middle, open it out, and then I know that I've got to do 10 on each side. And if you had another stitch marker, actually, let me just grab another stitch marker and show you what I tend to do, because it does make it so much easier, especially if you want to make it nice and even. So then you can, if you want to, fold this in half, so pop a stitch marker in the middle, or you could just sort of do it by eye, pop a stitch marker in the middle there, and then where are we, here we go, the stitch marker in halfway here, and then you know that you've got to do 5 single crochets in each section. Okay, so that just makes it a little bit easier. You know I love my stitch markers for making things easy. So 5, so you're going to do 20 single crochets along here, evenly spaced. You might just be able to go along and do that, no problem, but this just helps you to know that you're not going to end up sort of with about 18 here, and then, oh no, I've only got like 2 for this part here. So that's what I would do. And then when you come to doing these sides, because we carried our yarn up, where you've got this here, you want to go over both strands. So you want to make sure you're covering up where this yarn carries. Okay, so make sure you're going over both. Okay, make sure you're catching that in there. So do your 20 single crochets along, and then in your very last sort of bit down here and this stitch, you're going to do your corner. So incorporate this first stitch here. Okay, I'll see you at the end of this row. So then into the first stitch around the corner on this bottom, you're going to do a single crochet, chain 2 and single crochet, unless of course you're doing half double crochets for your thighs. So then you're along the bottom and you're going to do 20 single crochets along your bottom. There should be 20 chains there to work into, and then on your very last chain you're going to do your corner of single crochet, chain 2, single crochet, and then you're going to work up this side exactly as you did before. Use your stitch markers if you need to, and then you've already got your corner up here, so you're going to do 20 up here. You've already got your corner here, so just do a slip stitch into your very first chain, and that is that. So I will see you back up here when I do my slip stitch. And there you go, one bamboo stitch. It does look rather like sticks of bamboo, doesn't it, with this sort of texture going on, this in and out bit. So looks like those little knotty bits, whatever they are, of bamboo. So there you go. Feel free to mix it up as much as you feel like with your colours. As always, I can't wait to see what colours you've chosen to do when you pop them in the photo album of the group. So do join us if you haven't already joined the group on Facebook. So I hope you found this useful, and if you have, please give us a thumbs up, give us a click that like button, and until next time, just keep hooking and don't let your tea get cold.